We've been building a streaming music service, and last time we left off with parsing an MP3 file to calculate its duration. Today I think let's continue on with working on this create bumper function and building out some of the stuff we need to implement that. So I think we'll look at this create item function, and that's going to probably take us down the path of ingesting and storing media files and metadata for them. Okay. So let's see, to create an item, we'll want to ingest the media. So we're going to do something like, can anything go wrong with that? I mean, things can always go wrong, but can anything go wrong that we'd want to handle? I don't think so. We should expect the file operations to go fine. There's really nothing that the end user can do to fix that if they don't. I think that's really kind of it. So yeah, we'll say something like media dot I think all we need there is the path. We're also going to want like a MIME type. I think we'll want to store that metadata. So when we serve the file later, we'll have the MIME type to provide. So the client, probably web browser, will be able to handle it well. So what is a MIME type for an MP3? Is it like application MP3? Not quite what I was looking for. Here we go. Oh, audio MPEG. Oh, sure, I guess that makes sense. Okay. So we'll just put that. Right now we don't support anything other than MP3s. If we did, we'd want to figure out what we had received and either figure it out or bring it down from, closer to the user who's uploading the file. But for now, we'll just assume it's always MP3 file. And so once we've created the media, then I think it'll be something like so yeah, I think the item will have a belongs to field, so it'll hold the media ID. I think that makes the most sense, because as soon as you so we'll make the item once we have the media. guess it'll be like the duration actually isn't really a parameter that we would cast. It's something we've computed ourselves, so we have confidence in it. We don't really need to cast it because we wouldn't validate it. Or would we? Should we say instead, like, we have calculated it ourselves, but based on user input, that is the file. So if the file were to have a duration that was inappropriate, then we might want to actually validate the duration. So maybe we should cast it. It's not strictly speaking user supplied data, but it is derived from user supplied data. So yeah, let's go with that idea. And the media. Set, let me look. So how did I do it like over here? Yeah, same way. Alright, I can work with that. And then once we have the change set, we'll insert it. We don't want to blow up if the insert goes wrong. So if I remember right, regular insert returns OK, and the schema, otherwise the error on the change set. Yeah, so that's what we want. We want that to come back from that. And this then could do that, right? So if there's a problem, yeah, maybe we really ought to be hooking that. Should we be attaching that error message to the change set to make it easier to display? Is that easy to do? How do we do that? I don't, doesn't jump out at me, so maybe we'll pick that message up and display it as a flash message rather than try to display it on like the file control in the upload form. We can revisit this if we need to, but let's not go crazy right now. So that likewise, yeah, this form will be a little complicated, won't it? By the fact that the item is separate, and we might validate it. So you could get back a problem with the bumper, like if you didn't give it a name, you could get a change set back with that error on it. I mean, we don't have that validation yet, but we may want to add it. Or you could get an error message back from trying to get the duration, like the MP3 file can't be parsed. Or you could get back a change set. I think that is how that works. It could be a change set either for the bumper or for the item, which is a little tricky. How can we nest those like right off, or do we need to make them separate like this? Because I got in the back of my head that maybe, what if you cast an association? Should be used when working with the entire association at once, yes. And receiving data external to the application, yes. Okay, so all right. Function to build the change set from params. Change set 2 can be changed by passing an anonymous function or an MFA tuple. Yeah, okay, so we can work with that. Huh, oh. Yeah, interesting. So, let's just go with something like that for now. So maybe we don't want to have a create item function here. Maybe what we want is to bring in fact, well, let's do this for now. Yeah, I'm good with that for now. It's starting to get a little hinky, but doesn't sting too bad for me yet. So this is now like in the media. So cast. Oh no, so shoot, this is. Oh, okay, so we need we haven't built out the media yet at all. Yeah, let's go ahead and yeah, I think it's like that. Medium. Man, naming things is still hard, isn't it? Okay, let's just go with that for now. Then this turns into that. That's like that. I think that's that. Okay. And so bumper's the one. So that already has an item, an associated item. Cast associated item with duration and media. With what's that look like? Data params. Will this other syntax work better? Can I say something like, I'm kind of struggling to remember how this syntax works, but I think it's like item. Man, I do not love dragging this in here. Oh, what if? No, what if we did this? What if we just don't do any of that? Oh, keep that. keep a change set with 2 parameters, and we don't need this width because the default catches us. And then what if we yeah, that doesn't quite. So accepts a change set as its first argument. Yeah, I thought that. What does it return? The outer change set. Can I do something like item media? Can I do that? I don't see it in the documentation. I'm just curious. Where's the, we don't really know what name can be. I have a feeling it's not going to let us do that, but let's just find out. Type. String. File name. File name. File name. File name. It's 2 words. That's sufficient. How many parameters did that have? The path and the type. Okay, that's all stubbed out. I'm still concerned that we can't actually run this like deep put a soch. That just seems a little iffy. But I don't know, let's try it. Params, item has a duration. And then, oh wait, no, I should be testing the one on bumper, right? Okay, we left the one on item kind of stock. This is the fancy one, so the bumper has a name. And then we give the duration separately, and then media. Okay, what happened? No. Did I, feel like maybe I got the change set name opt. Oh. Oh, wow, okay. I think, so I totally misunderstood how that worked. So that expects to be used on, so maybe we, first of all, maybe we shouldn't be using the change set function like this. Maybe we should be doing some of this stuff up in the outer module. But I guess it thinks that we'll already have for example, is there a different example where, oh wow, look at this, cast. Oh, that's for something else. So I guess the first cast puts the params in there. For the given country. Huh. Well, let me research this a little more and think about it, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so I gave it some thought, and I think a couple of things. First of all, I think we're totally okay to return either of the change sets if there's an error. We just need to build the form right to pick up the correct error field from the change set in the correct place on the form. Then the other thing I think is these change set functions should probably not be trying to build the associations. I think we should be doing that up in the outer module. And I think cast association is not going to work at all for what I want to do here. I think what I need is this build association. I think I need to actually get the item inserted into the database so I have an ID for it, because I want to put the ID on the item ID field of the bumper. And there might be a way to build like a single SQL statement that would do all of that, but I think the way Ecto wants to be used is to have it be two separate insert statements. And so that's why I'm having a hard time trying to do it all at once. I don't think it wants me to do it all at once. So let's get all of this out of here. So that's all we need there for now. Oops, we probably better give the primitive names. This, I think, is fine. I think we're done with that. No, we're not done with this yet. We might be done with this. Not done with that. Okay. So back here, we get the duration. That's still a thing. We get the media, and that we don't think anything can go wrong with. Then we need to make the item. And for the item, we're going to pass duration and the media. And we build the change set for the bumper. And here's where, oh, okay, so here's where we're going to build an association. Oh. No, we're not. So that's backwards for this. So the bumper actually owns the item. So had we ought to so this is a little backwards. Normally we would have the item belong to the bumper, but because bumpers and songs can own items, the relationships flipped around the other way. So I think in this case we don't want to use build association. We want to use, and we could probably dispense with that. Change set that, put association item. So we will build the item first, then we'll do the put association out here. And okay. How's that build? Not very well. How come? Undefined function create item. Yeah, we haven't written that yet. Hold off on that until I feel a little better about it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. Usually you take in attributes, but this is kind of an internal use function. In fact, we may make it private. Good reason not to try and write documentation for it. You can't put documentation on a private function. So this would be fairly straightforward, I guess. We need a change set. That's not how you write that. And then we just insert it. We'll leave that for now, but come back to it. You might want to test it, play around with it separately. So I think that media is unused. Oh, right. So the media let me read a little more of this, but I think we're going to end up doing the same thing with a put association, but I want to check that build association is not a better way to go here. Okay, so this is, let me flip this around a little, see if it works better. So let's put path down here. So width, okay, duration, well, because anytime we're making an audio item, there's going to be an MP3 file, so it hadn't ought to be up there in a bumper. It ought to be down here where we're making the item. Okay, so that gets us the duration, and with the duration we're able to make the media, and the media has one relationship, or it can have a has one relationship to an audio item. It could be it has many in principle. Would we ever want to do that? I don't think we'd better do that. So it has one audio item. Do we want to have this over here? Like, what if we don't? Suppose we don't have that available, then we would make the media like we did. Then We would just do it like that. I think that's the way to go. Now, if we had the has one or has many, I think we'd want the has one. So say we had the has one field on the media, then having created the media, we could use build association to initialize the item struct, and it would have the ID of the media record pre-populated, so then we wouldn't have to do the put association. But in this case, I think it's better if the media struct doesn't have fields on it for like every type of thing the media could be belonging to. I don't foresee a situation where we'd want that, and I think it just kind of would lead to writing code and passing around data that we're not really using for any purpose. So that if that's our create item, then this all gets a lot simpler. Really, we could just say case create item. Right, we don't even need the duration, because we calculate it down there. Create item, path, do, and so in the case where we get okay item, then we can make our bumper as planned. And here, the reason we don't use build association is because actually we could use build association here, can't we? Because the item does know about its bumper or its song, because sometimes we'll want to go from an item back to the bumper or song. Like we've decided to play an item, but if we're just looking in the plays table, we don't know what kind of item that is. So we don't know the metadata for that type of item. So we're going to need to traverse that association to get the bumper or the song, so that we can provide appropriate data to the client to display for that audio item. So here we could do something like the association would be the bumper, and the attributes like that, and then we could say repo.insert. And I think okay, yeah, so we don't want to pass those right here. Then we would want to do a change set cast and all of that. So that's okay, but I'd just as soon use the change set function and everything that we've already built. And if we want to do validation and that, then actually, so this build association is going to build the struct, so we can still use this. We would just say to do the cast and the validation, so that's fine. So we can do that. I think that works right. And then this we don't really. Yeah. I think that's the simplest way to write that. Let's see. So it compiles, that's nice. So I think we can play with this a little now. So, oh, okay, yeah, we got some, right, we need a migration. Okay. So we'll make a media table, and that's going to have type and file name, both strings. And then we need to alter the table audio items. We're going to add a field, media ID, references, media. Yeah. I think that's all we need. Mix, migrate. Cool. Yeah, that was what we needed. So that inserted. Yep, we got the right duration. We don't build the media yet, so that's nil. But it did make the audio item, so that's great. So let's see then if create bumper works. You have the attributes, so name, test bumper, and then the path, right? So let's see, so cool, that makes the audio item, and it makes the bumper, and it associates the item ID correctly, so that all works perfect. Great. So now we need to implement actually making the media. So let's focus first on making the database entry for the metadata, and then we'll circle back and ingest the file to a directory somewhere. That'll be a little more complicated, so we'll probably tackle that in the next video. Wrap this one up after we've got this working. Okay, so with the type. It's really as simple as simple, right? But you got to know all of the things. Put change. Right. So we'll still need change set, and then we will put directly onto a type, because that was provided programmatically. That doesn't come from that's not derived from user data, so we won't validate it. And then we'll insert it. So man, should I be doing like that, do you think? Right now we don't cast anything. And we're also not setting the file name field, which is fine. Again, we'll set that up because we're going to generate that ourselves. We're not going to use anything provided by the user for that. I do need change set too. Well, we could like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty common. Cool. Okay, so that. Oh. Well, oh, I see. Invalid. Yeah. Well, let's just take a look at that. See what this is. Right, it says like, oh no, we won't check that. Yeah. Yeah. Cha-ching. So this shouldn't be able to fail because we're not doing any validation at all. we decide to do validation later, we'll want to change that and check it and be able to propagate any errors in validation back to the user. Cool. Okay, so it inserts the media. Good. The item's created with the media ID. And the bumper is created with the bumper, or the audio item ID. That's great. So let's button this up. That's what I've been calling that, right? Yeah. We're not done with that yet, though. And then that is going to become private. Create song will use it as well, but other than that, we won't expose it outside of this module for now. So what all did we do today? Yeah, that's not, we're not done with that yet. This we can commit as part of this. This, yes. This whole file. Really not done with that yet. Yeah. So we'll come back to that. This I'm good with committing, and this media. Okay, so in next video we'll build out this create media function, and then I think this will fall into place, and then we'll be able to build a make song or create song function based on this create bumper, and that'll probably go pretty quick now that we've got kind of the way forward figured out. After that, I don't know, I have to think a little, see what we want to do after that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and you know, if you see something I did wrong or that I could have done better with the program, please let me know down in the comments. And if you have any thoughts or feedback on how I'm making these videos, something you wish I would do, something you wish I wouldn't do, let me know that too, please. And till next time, take care.